Biden affirms that he has serious doubts that China would invade Taiwan. We're going to get into why he believes China would not invade Taiwan. Also, the G20 is over, and as I promised, I'm here to report to you guys the most important events of G20. Sorry, did I say the G20 is over? Not really for Trudeau, maybe for the other nations. We're going to find out more in this video. Now, on the crypto front, Vitalik Buterin got his X account hacked, and some users have lost altogether about over $600,000. Let's find out more about this on today's video. As usual, we're going to begin with Bloomberg. And Bloomberg, the main headline is about Biden having doubts that China will be able to invade Taiwan. Now, of course, his argument is because of the economical situation of Taiwan. Taiwan is not growing economically, at least not as it used to be growing. But one thing is, if Taiwan is having some serious economical problems, then the West also will have some serious economical problems. And we can see here, President Joe Biden said that China's recent downturn in the economy may diminish any inclination of Beijing, China invading Taiwan. However, this is what he says, but his actions are saying something different. But before going to his actions, one thing I want to share with you guys is when I see headlines saying Biden doubts that China will invade Taiwan, we're doubting that China is going to invade Taiwan, we have seen this movie before. And we can see here, Forbes had said why Vladimir Putin will not invade Ukraine. And this was on December 6, 2021. And as we already know, 2 months later, in February, Vladimir Putin did invade Ukraine. So when I see headlines such as this one, I do get concerned because the actions of Biden does not show that he has doubts about the invasion. To the contrary, his actions shows that he is concerned about an invasion. You can see here, US and Canada, they have sailed warships through the Taiwan Strait, which is the space between China and Taiwan. Now, China considered that to be their own sovereign waters, and the presence of military ships on that strait, it is seen as an aggression to China. Now, I have said before, and I'll say again, this idea that US sending Nancy Pelosi to Taiwan, doubling down on things, I think the actions of the West may cause the invasion. And we can see here more. There was a video released since 2018. There has been a few incidents in this region. We have had airplane almost crashing, military airplane. We have had ships, warships almost crashing in that strait or on that area of the China Sea because there's a lot of military presence there and the Chinese government is not enjoying that. You can see here another video which was launched in June where there was almost a crash, or not a crash, but a dangerous maneuver of the Chinese ship. Look at this video. You can see the Chinese ship just going right in front, which is a dangerous maneuver indeed. But the thing is, my question is, should those ships be there in the first place? Should Canada and America have their military ships so close to the Chinese water? What would be their reaction if China sent their ship to the strait between, or the space between Cuba and the US? Would the US say, oh, it's okay, you guys can navigate here? I don't think this is a good move. I think the US may provoke the invasion, or at least accelerate the date of the invasion. I'm not saying that China would not invade Taiwan. I'm just saying that the acceleration may have caused, or will be caused by the US. Now, other things that also happen on G20. Let's go to G20. US, India, Saudi Arabia, and the European Union unveil a massive rail and ports deal on G20 sidelines. Now, I think this is a great move. I think it's a very good deal, especially to Europe. Europe have lost the main supplier of petrol and natural gas, Russia, because of the invasion. But I think this is going to be a very good deal for all the parties involved. You can see here, the pact comes at a critical time as US President Joe Biden seeks a counter-China Belt and Road initiative. I agree with that. And of course, by pushing this infrastructure, here's what happened. Let me explain to you why this is significant. Now let me tell why this is important. If you look at here, you have Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Iran, United Emirates. This area has most of the petrol on the planet. And the issue is, as you can see, all of those countries do have access to the sea. Iraq has it, Kuwait has it, Saudi Arabia has it, Iran also has it. But the thing is, they have today to use ships and pass through this little strait. And this strait, it is controlled by Iran. You can see here, it's the Strait of Hormuz, and Iran controls it. So now once there is an infrastructure, let's zoom. Now, once they have a structure that instead of going through the sea, goes through land, let's say a pipeline or a railroad, some infrastructure that allows them to get this via Turkey and to Europe, that is going to be very beneficial. Even if they make a structure giving access to this Red Sea and then use this Suez Canal, that's going to also be another solution. The thing is, right now, Iran is not a country that is friendly towards the West. Iran may be making alliance with Russia. So the thing is, this deal that they signed on the G20 is a very beneficial deal, at least in my view. What is your view? Please let me know on the comments below. And of course, India would also benefit from this because, of course, the cost of energy for India is going to drop once the infrastructure is there. Now, another thing that happened in G20 is not as positive, at least not in my view. Biden and Modi and other leaders launched what they call the Global Biofuels Alliance. Now, I'm going to play a little video of that alliance and a little commercial from them. And hopefully YouTube will not shut down this video. But I want to comment on their own video and how they advertise this. Let's look at this. You can see the leaders there. Saudi Arabia is also there. And as they zoom in, the political leader of India will touch a little light. And of course, there comes the Global Biofuels Alliance. This is their own video. Hopefully I can...
To support respective net zero targets, to solve the energy quadrilemma, to strengthen circular economy, and provide cost-effective and environmentally favorable alternative. When
they say environment favorable alternative, I know I'm not pro-pollution, but when I hear these kind of great words, idealistic words, I get concerned, and I'm going to explain to you guys why.
Global sustainable biofuels production needs to triple by 20...
This to me is the main issue. According to them, the biofuels production needs to triple by 2030. I'm not going to go to the other points of this video. I just want to focus on this one. When they talk about the need to triple their production by 2030, if Brazil, for instance, as it is today, decides to triple their production of biofuels, that's going to deplete the soil, that's going to cause other problems. It is not that simple, oh, we're just going to plant more and the soil is going to be fine. Biofuels has its own issue, it has its own pollution, it depletes the soil, it needs irrigation. It is not that simple. If you guys want, please subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be making a video just showing or sharing with you guys my concerns about the biofuels. Now, that was one point which I did not think was a very positive one. Let's go to a few more. The next year, president of G20 will be Lula. You can see here, Brazil takes G20 reins from India as Lula da Silva envisions a fair and sustainable world. Now, I have already made a video yesterday about how Lula is extreme left in my view, and I share with you guys a video where Ted Cruz speaks about the corruption and the left movement going on America now. Let's see what is Lula's idea of what he's going to be pushing for or what he's going to try to achieve during this 1 year presidency. He says here, of course, Lula expresses gratitude to the Prime Minister Modi. He also emphasized the need to address global inequalities. My question is, what are you talking about? Inequality of outcome or inequality of opportunity? He also states we are living in a world where wealth is more concentrated. I agree with that, but I'm not sure what's the solution for that concentration. He says millions go hungry. The truth is hunger has diminished tremendously on the past 30, 50 years around the globe. Sustainable development is threatened and government institutions reflect an outdated reality. When I start to see words such as sustainable, outdated reality, I'm not sure what to think about this. And he says here, we must tackle income inequality. My question is, how are you going to do that? Are you going to give better education to the population? What are you going to do? Or are you just going to give universal basic income, UBI? If the answer is UBI, we already had a little sample of UBI, and that was the check stimulus that was given with COVID. And that caused tremendous inflation that we're still dealing with that. And he also say here, access to healthcare. Okay, so you're saying that the healthcare is going to be for free? How are you going to do it? And if it is for free, who is going to pay the doctors? Who is going to pay the building of the infrastructures? So when I hear Lula having the power of being the president of G20 and trying to push this agenda, I get concerned. Of course, he wants to also address education. He wants to address food or diminish hunger. He also includes gender on his agenda, race and representation to address these anomalies. He called those things anomalies. I have very serious concern. Lula da Silva outlined the priorities for Brazil G20 presidency, highlighting social inclusion, the fight against hunger, energy transition, which is going green. Germany has been the one country that is the most advanced on the green energy in Europe, and it went really bad. The solar panels, the batteries do not, or the windmills do not provide energy the same way. If you want to have an idea of the difference between green energy and fossil fuels, just go to a stove. Compare a gas stove versus an electric heat stove and try to make some popcorn. Just try to make popcorn on an electric stove and popcorn on a gas stove and tell me which one wastes more energy. The gas stove, you can adjust the flame, you can get the precise heat you need very quickly. You can increase and decrease almost instantly with gas. With electricity, you cannot do that. There's a lot more waste when you operate an electric stove versus when you operate a gas stove. So the idea of energy transition is not a good idea, at least not the way they're doing. I think if we get technology advance and leave the private sector do, we'll be fine. If you try to do this by the force of the pen or pushing a law, Germany is a very good example. I'm going to be making a video explaining my concerns with ESG, which I actually call not green energy, red energy. If you want to see that video, please subscribe and click the notification bell. That way you'll be notified as soon as that video comes out. Another thing that Lula did, which I think is bad for Brazil, I already made a video yesterday saying that the US has ideas or is inclined to sanctioning Brazil. And here's what happened. Lula also said when asked if Vladimir Putin goes to the next G20 summit in Brazil, which will be in Rio de Janeiro, what would happen? Would he be arrested or not? And Lula said very clearly that Vladimir Putin is more than welcome. He's here. The International Criminal Court issued a warrant for Vladimir Putin's arrest for alleged war crimes in March 2023. Now, this of course was just a year over the date of the invasion of Ukraine. There is an agreement between Brazil. Brazil is required to cooperate with the ICC, the International Criminal Court, investigations and activities, which legal experts say includes arresting the court's targets. If Lula does not abide by this agreement, that will be a great provocation to the US. The US may sanction Brazil and even take some other military action towards Brazil. Lula, however, indicate Vladimir Putin would be welcome at the Rio summit. And Vladimir Putin not only will be welcome, but he will find an atmosphere of peace. Now, I do not agree that the sovereignty of a country should be challenged. I am pro the sovereignty of Brazil, but it is a very tricky situation because if Lula says that he would arrest Vladimir Putin, he may get in conflict with the BRICS. If he does say he would not arrest Vladimir Putin, you get in conflict with America. I think South Africa had a very good solution. South Africa didn't say yes or no about the arrest. South Africa just found a way to motivate or inspire the idea of Vladimir Putin attending via video, not to put South Africa into a tough spot. Vladimir Putin stay in the country. Lula could have said something on the lines. He's very welcome to come to Brazil. However, I think it's very dangerous for his life to take this flight across the Atlantic, knowing that the international court is after him. I think for the security of him, it's better if he stayed there. That would be a very good answer because it would not upset Russia and would not upset the West. Lula is upset in the West, and I think this is a dangerous move, at least in my view. Now, let's lighten up the ending of the G20. Trudeau got stuck in India because of the faulty aircraft. And apparently this is not a problem that can be solved in just a day or two. So Trudeau will remain in India. The thing is, the relationships between Trudeau and the political leader of India are not good, so I find this a bit humorous. I actually laugh at this, that now he's stuck in India when he's not really welcome by the political leader of India. Now, Trudeau will have to remain in India, a country where the political leader is not really his best friend, so he's not fully welcome there. Now, another person that may not be as happy with the G20 results is Zelensky, because the language has changed tremendously. The language of the G20 this time was not as offensive towards Russia. And you can see here, the final outcome irked Ukraine, which saw the compromise on war language as weaker than the leaders produced just 10 months ago in Bali, Indonesia, meaning the previous G20 meeting was one where it was a bit more willing to call Russia the aggressor. In comparison, this one is not as willing to label Russia as an aggressor. I have made a video about this. So Zelensky is not happy with the G20, nor is Trudeau, because now he's stuck in India. Now, that was traditional finance and geopolitics. Let's talk about cryptocurrencies. Vitalik Buterin, X account got hacked. X is the former Twitter. Now you can see here, Vitalik Buterin, Ethereum's co-founder, allegedly had his X, former Twitter account, compromised. According to the prominent blockchain investigator Zach SBT, the incident has led to victims collectively losing $691,000 after clicking on a malicious link. If you are in the crypto space, please do not click on any link that you do not know. Also, if you do make a search, if you see an ad, do not click. I actually have a friend who clicked, she went and she searched on Google for Apple support. She had a problem with Apple. And when she searched, of course, it was an ad of Apple support. She clicked on that link and she was on a call with a hacker or someone who intended to get her cryptocurrencies. Now, she went from needing Apple support to having to, or she was asked, she didn't disclose, but she was asked about information, passwords to accounts, and also cryptocurrency wallets. So if you are in the crypto space, or not just on the crypto space, if you have like a bank account, internet banking, make sure you have a delegated computer only for internet banking. And please, never, under no circumstances, click on any link. As you can see here, Vitalik Buterin got hacked and his followers lost money by clicking on those links. This is one of the dangers of having internet banking and cryptocurrencies. If you want to find out more about online security, please consider joining the Academy, because we do have classes specifically dedicated to security on our Academy. And with this, I wrap up this video. Now, my question to you is, do you know someone who have been hacked by a malicious link? If you do, please let us know in the comments below. And again, if you want to find out more how you can protect yourself from this, please consider subscribing to the Academy, link below. If you did like this video, please like, subscribe, click the notification bell, and share this video with someone that you believe will benefit from it. This is it for now. See you guys on the next video.